My name is Irfan, and I'd like to inform you about how you could start up a startup business, whether it be unicorn or decacorn. Okay, first of all, starting a business is a daunting trip. It's a daunting thing to do, of course. And it requires a knowledge to yourself, and it also requires commitment to the business. Because with that, you get success and a sense of continuation for the business, and that's always a good thing. So first of all, what you got to do is you got to brainstorm the variables, and these are the variables you need: is what is it you're selling? What kind of product? Is it a product or a service? What's the marketing game plan? That's a very important thing. I'll get to that later. And what about the funding, the initial capital, and all that stuff, investors, and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, you're gonna need someone you could work with, manpower issues. The quantity, quality-wise, these are very important factors, of course. So I want to get back to the second point I made there, which is marketing. Because marketing is key to everything. I could say that as someone who is studying marketing, of course. Hold up. So in regards to marketing, it's very important because marketing is what is the empowerment to attract and retain your original customer base. And you could also think and brainstorm in a way that as a startup, could you benefit from a ecosystem? Because this is about branding, right? So ecosystem is one of them. Could you attract partnerships and have a agreement with other companies to further attract and retain the customers? Or you could also, I'm sorry. Or, and you could also, and it's also very important to consider what it's like out there, because you know, what are your competitors? Who are your competitors? Is there going to be a monopoly? Are you going to monopolize it? So it's not really an important thing. You just need to sustain it at that point because it's about monopoly, right? And are your customers a B2B scheme or a business to customer scheme, B2C? So yeah, and of course, most important of all, because you are the boss, you're in charge, you're the number one person in the company because you own it, of course, is are you going to micromanage it, or are they self-sustaining enough to be self-directed? And of course, because this all determines the fate of the company. It's about the marketing, how it retains the customer. I mean, there's also other significant variables, of course. But as what the CEO of BCA said, most unicorns, most decacorns, they just turn into popcorn, if you know what I mean. And another point I'd like to make is the business structure. Now, because we live in Indonesia, these issues, they matter, but they don't matter as much as they do in, let's say, like a Western society where everything is by the rules. There are more rules, there are more social rules than written rules in Indonesia, and I'm aware of that. So when it comes to business structure, it could be a PT, sole proprietorship. It could be a CV, that's like something below, or it could be PLC, publicly traded, for potential investors and you know, capital. But at this point, and in regards to the legal stuff, of course, it's best to consult with a business consultant because, look, I'm a blind context individual, and we live in Indonesia where everything is high context and everything is collectivist oriented. So it's better to hire a third who could figure that out and is honest with you. And of course, there's the launch timing. So yeah, you need to time it correctly, but then it's also important because you can't really dwell that much. You need to, you know, if things ASAP don't dwell, so you must take action ASAP, or you can just abandon the business plan of something else to do. So yeah, there's my closing statement. Um, because I'm predominantly a thinker, I think it's safe to say that I think it's the most challenging part for me in starting a business personally. This is a personal thing, subjective thing, is finding the right person who could execute that for me and someone I could trust with. So that's about it. Thank you so very much.